have been asking me about. Um, Now, as you know, those of you that follow me, I try my best to help the environment and support nature as much as I possibly can. And I've been given the opportunity to try to help another tree. Now, this tree is the Great Muskham Oak. So it's in South Muskham, which is near to Sherwood Forest. In fact, I'll show you the tree. Don't look at me. So this is the tree, and she's in danger of having her whole crown lopped off, and the lower branches here taken away. So you may as well just cut the tree down if you're going to do something like that. And there's no need. It's done because it's on private land and the landowner can do what he wants to do. So I've paired up with St George's Trust and a lady called Sarah to see if we can do something about that. It's a bit of a long shot, but it's a shot I'm willing to have a go at. So my part of the deal is to paint the tree, or paint the portrait of the tree and the story around the tree, because it's magical. That land, that piece of land where it is, it's the land of the Fae. There's definitely magical vibes there, and anyone that goes there will feel that. And this painting is about telling the story of that tree. So I'm just going to whiz the camera around and show you what we're doing. So just bear with me a moment, as I have to, still not very good at doing this. Right, so this should be all right. So I'm just going to be wiggling a little bit because I have to get the camera into the holder. I'll try and do without cutting everything off. Sorry about my hand there. So you should be able to see that reasonably well. I'll just go back slightly. That's as back as far as I could go without buying a bigger studio. This is a big painting there. I'm going to be working on that bit there. It's huge. It's a meter by a meter, the actual canvas, and then it's framed as well. So today I'm going to be working on this part of the tree. And the idea is that I'll be inviting you guys to decide what animals you want to be featured in the painting. So I can see maybe bats. There's going to be bats there. This is why I've done the clouds lighter, so that you can see dark animals silhouetted against it. And then probably an owl. There's got to be, I've got to paint an owl, haven't I? Probably an owl here. And then as we go down into the ground area, there'll be lots of foliage, and then going down into an underground part where there'll be the mycelium of the tree underneath as it feeds into the rest. And it's quite good. So these figures here, so this is Sarah, and this is a gentleman that I should have to give you some text about, because there's a whole story around him too. But he's connected to the land, so he's an important, notable figure, and this is a notable tree. So I'm using oil. As you can see, I've already got it all over my hands. It's probably on my face and in my hair already, but I'm using just a few colours that I'm mixing up on my palette, and I'm using some linseed oil as well, and a brush that's on its last legs because it's broken. So there we are. That means I need to buy some more. Luckily, it wasn't an expensive brush, but it's clearly been used a lot. So I'll just turn the fan off because that's probably making a bit of a noise. And I'll turn the lights off as well because they'll be bouncing on the oil painting. Try to work in natural light where possible. So I'm just using a very basic technique where I'm picking up some oil paints and I'm dabbing it to make the bristles splay out. Probably why the brush is knackered, to be honest, but hey ho. And then I've painted the background leaves of the tree. So now I'm going over the top with thicker oil and a darker colour. Now I don't want to cover all of it because the idea of the paler colours behind is where it goes into the misty, sort of ethereal night sky. So it could be very easy just to go over the whole thing, but the idea is where there's light, I put dark, and where there's dark, I paint light, and you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. And when I paint a tree, I'm not, I'm not sort of sticking exactly to the leaves of the tree, but I am to the structure of the tree because the branches are what give the tree its character. But the leaves change all the time. So already, as we go in with a darker colour, it starts to give the tree some form and some depth. You have to think like a tree when you're painting a tree, I think. You have to think how the tree actually grows and how the leaves would form. It's already starting to come forwards. Now I'm going to stop there. I've got obviously lots and lots to do on it, but just want to show you just another technique. So the bit that sort of brings everything to life is when you start to put in some of the little branches. See what I mean? You get beautiful bits of tree forming. That's the exciting part. Yes. This is the bit I like doing. I find doing the leaves a little bit monotonous after a while because there's so many of them. But actually putting in some branches really brings the tree to life. And then I'm just going to show you one more thing. So the yellow paint has gone. It's gone hard in the tube, and what that means is I can't use the cap anymore, which is annoying. So just squeeze it out the other end. So what I've got here is some yellow, and I'm just mixing in a bit of black to the yellow, and it's going to give me a very dark green. And I'll show you the effect that has further down the tree. Just introduces just a little bit of colour. Now, because it's night time, you're not going to see a lot of colour at all. But I like to add just a touch. Because after all, this is quite a fantasy-based painting. And in the world of fantasy, you can play around with these sorts of things. See, that makes quite a difference, doesn't it? And I'm going to put a little bit on the trunk before I go too mad with the branches. Just brings a little bit of colour into the painting. There we go. See, it just adds just a little bit, not too much. Excuse the fingers again. So, if I stand back a little bit, you can see the whole thing. And that's all for today. So it's just a little snippet. Now, what I'd like you to do is tell me what animal you would like me to add. And then when I finish the tree, I will start work on adding in the animals. And whoever comments first, their animal is going to be added first.